From checking the food to examining the ink on handwritten letters, here are the most insane tactics used by the US Secret Service to protect presidents. Eating is one of man's greatest pleasures, and even presidents have their cute sins. Yes, but this pleasure can sometimes turn into a real nightmare when food becomes a danger. How? Well, it can happen when it is poison, for example. So, making sure that a food is healthy is a very important thing. But how do you do it when there is no official taster among the people in charge of the president's security? Never mind. Secret Service agents are there to check what the president is being fed. Everything, from the most refined dishes to the simplest food, is examined according to a real security system by the few agents authorized to approach the food. In addition, everything is prepared by people who must themselves be authorized to do so. The rule also applies when the president is away, but in this case, it is chefs affiliated with the US Navy or Air Force One who will take care of his meals. You may think that the president only eats homemade food, but this is not always true. He may very well want a pizza and have it delivered to him, but with a different address. We can't talk about protecting the president without talking about his safety while he is traveling. Of course. But, did you know that the president rides in a limousine, and not just any limousine? This is the beast, as outgoing President Donald Trump calls it. This car is a real monster, with the most incredible technology and safety features. Modifications have been made to make it resistant to any attack. Shielded up to the windows, with a body about 20 centimeters thick and puncture-proof tires, the president's car is well known to Secret Service agents. Of course, since they are in charge of driving it. Wait a minute, do you have any idea how fast this 9-ton car can run? Don't think it's a fast car, because this car can only run at a speed of 96 kilometers per hour only. But this is not really a problem, as long as the president can find everything he needs to work while driving it. But the beauty of this technology work does not stop there. In this car, you can also find first aid equipment, including blood bags. In case of need, first aid will be provided immediately to the president by the agents themselves. That's right, they know exactly what to do in the event of an attack, for example, and they can even save the president, as was the case when Ronald Reagan was injured in an attack in 1981. Do you like this video? Then, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all notifications and not miss anything of our next publications. Let's keep going. When it comes to driving, Secret Service agents are real stuntmen. That's normal since these special drivers don't take the same driving lessons as we do. In fact, they have to undergo advanced driving training for several days. In addition to driving skills, they also learn several techniques, such as how to do a 180-degree reverse spin before accelerating forward, and many other equally spectacular maneuvers. All of these techniques ultimately allow them to develop defensive driving as well as high-speed precision driving, which they can use if necessary. Because you never know what can happen on the road. And then, we must not forget that their main mission is to protect the president and get him away from potential danger as quickly as possible and drive him to a safe place. This does not mean, of course, that they have to drive at high speed or rally through the streets of the city when everything is going well. Martial arts are part of the fundamentals of the Secret Service. And how? A Secret Service agent can only be a good agent if he masters martial arts. Some martial arts are reserved for the Secret Services, such as the Sistema, for example. This Russian martial art was developed from samas, but it also includes some principles from other ancient Russian martial arts. In the beginning, Sistema was reserved only for Russian special forces, but since the end of the Soviet Union, everyone can learn and practice it, including American Secret Service agents. The Sistema is based on a set of techniques such as breathing, relaxation, posture, movements, and the ability to improvise in any situation. By practicing the Sistema, agents also learn how to give and receive blows. This does not mean that they learn to do it for the pleasure of hitting, rest assured. In fact, the goal behind this martial art is to be able to manage a crisis situation without killing and with little movement, while remaining calm and perfectly relaxed. It is therefore a good weapon against attacks that may occur, but it is above all a discipline that is good for physical and mental health. Did you know that Secret Service agent also uses several cameras? In fact, they have to film everything, including the presidential motorcade when the president is on the move. But why do Secret Service agents have to film everything, you will say? Well, it has become necessary since the assassination of John Kennedy in 1963. And then, it is also for the simple reason that these men must have a complete recording to review and provide in the event of an incident or attack. Indeed, this recording will allow the investigators to carry out their work in the best possible conditions and will help them to reconstruct the slightest small incident. For example, if someone throws something at the president, the Secret Service agents will then be able to locate that person easily thanks to their recording. The agents of the Counter-Assault Team, or CAT, represent the best of the American Secret Service. Extraordinarily trained and prepared, they go through an intensive physical and moral training process to perfect their already exceptional abilities. Whether it's shooting, strength, or speed, CAT agents develop incredible prowess. However, not all agents can succeed in being part of this elite team, due to the difficult and grueling tests they must pass beforehand. Those who do make it through the selection process know how to wield powerful weapons and are always ready to lead the assault in case of an attack. In addition, their vehicle is part of the presidential motorcade when the president travels. What if we took a little break with a bit of general knowledge? Here is then the question of the day. When was the United States Secret Service created? Option A, 1865. Option B, 1915. Option C, 1965. If you know a little bit about the history of Uncle Sam's country, I'm sure you'll know the answer right away. If not, think about it a little, choose the option that seems correct to you and stay with us until the end of this video to see if you have answered correctly. Your choice is made. Come on, let's continue. How can we talk about the president's travels without talking about the places where he is staying? Of course, this detail is not taken lightly by Secret Service agents. Hotels in particular must be thoroughly checked before the president's arrival. This allows the agents to familiarize themselves with the places, but above all to check it out. Everything from the hotel staff to the elevator that will be used by the Secret Service agents must be thoroughly checked. If, for example, one of the employees needs to be in contact with a member of the government while he or she has a background, he or she will be persona non grata and will have to leave the hotel for the duration of the stay of the president and his or her team. And that's not all. Failing to book rooms with sea or garden views, Secret Service agents are requisitioning entire floors that will be above and below the floor where the president will be staying. The security of the latter is paramount. If there is one very complicated task for Secret Service agents, it is to scrutinize the crowd. Imagine a president standing in the middle of a crowd and having to wave a dozen hands at a time. The Secret Service agents must then redouble their vigilance, not only because they fear that the president will be caught in the crowd, but because they must be able to know if this crowd is not hiding some threat, such as a gun for example. In fact, they are trained to look for firearms, and with their eyes constantly hidden behind their dark glasses, they scan the crowd for any possible suspects or signs that someone is carrying a gun. And anything can alert them. Loose clothes, questionable posture, or even a hand hidden in a pocket can make them act. They may even be able to neutralize the potential suspect and put him or her out of harm's way without endangering people's lives. Secret Service agents must be able to spot potentially dangerous people, not just by scanning crowds or being keen observers. Their mission goes far beyond that. Any potential threat they can sense, even though a simple message posted on certain social networks, can spur them into action. How can they act? Well, Secret Service agents will proceed to what is called the protective intelligence in the United States. They will then conduct a small investigation to collect information to see if a potentially dangerous person is really dangerous. They will be able to see if he or she has a link to any malicious organization, check his or their browsing history, or even conduct interrogations if necessary. And all this to determine how serious the person is about what they are saying. Based on their conclusions, they will be able to issue a warning to this person, charge him with a Class E crime, or even sentence him to a psychiatric evaluation. Some people may send anonymous, handwritten letters to the president. These may be threatening letters, intended to worry or bother him or her, or sometimes they may be simple jokes in bad taste. This is not to the taste of the president and his entourage, and especially not to the taste of Secret Service agents. Obviously, it can be difficult to know who the authors of these anonymous handwritten letters are, but not for these special men and women. Indeed, the latter have their own method of tracing the letter and tracing it back to its author. Do you know how they do it? It's quite simply thanks to the ink. Well, the Secret Service works with ink manufacturers and has a large database of different inks. It is even said that this library of inks is unique in that it contains all the ink samples from the 1920s that you can imagine. Thus, thanks to this exceptional method, the ink with which the letter is written can be identified, and from this, the Secret Service agents can know where it was sold and thus discover the origin of the letter. Some of you may have already wondered if Secret Service agents sometimes wear fake body parts, such as fake hands or arms for example. Look at this agent walking during Donald Trump's investiture ceremony. His arms and hands remained perfectly still for most of the ceremony, which was abnormal according to the most perceptive. Some have even suggested that it wasn't actually his arms, but his fake arms. In the video, we can see at one point that he manages to move his fingers and that he uses his hand to open the door. But this is not enough to silence the rumors. What do you think all this means? Why would this man hide his arms under his coat, as some people claim? You have just discovered the most insane tactics used by the American Secret Service to protect the president. What do you think of all this? Leave us your impressions in the comments. And finally, here is the right answer to the question of the day. The United States Secret Service was created in 1865. I hope many of you chose option A.